All right. You got that one going. All right. Let's see. Turn that one down. Good morning, everybody. I'm just getting this stuff set up and then we'll get going here. All right. Let's get this thing up in the mount without dropping and kicking it everywhere. I hope everybody's having an awesome morning. Get her about right there. Let's see. Hey, good morning, Miss June. Oh, awesome. I'm glad they've made it. Heck yeah. Alright, let me move this over here. Trying to make sure I ain't got cords and stuff in the way. There we go. Let's see, got that set up. Got everything set up. Alright, I'm trying to set my live for about almost 10 minutes now, and every time oh, you're welcome. Every time I go to start it, it kept telling me error in setting the broadcast, and I'd have to start over, and I had to put my title back in there and all my other stuff. So yeah, the YouTube bug was bugging me this morning, but hey, here we are. Let's see. Hey, good morning, Bazzy. I got a lot of stuff set up to turn. I'm not gonna start off on a roach clip first thing this morning. I'm gonna knock this down, get it round, and then we'll see where we go from there. And then I got a few pieces of crepe myrtle cut over here to make some different things. And then now this is we're just gonna dub this mystery wood from the mystery viewer, as we say. I'm not sure which piece this is. This might be a piece of the cherry wood or something that was in there, but there's a bunch of different woods in that box that I got, and I greatly appreciate that box that I received. But this right here will be a spoon and a roach clip. I will turn this into a small spoon and this into a small roach clip. I have the other piece of this, the matching side. It's about the same length. I cut it and took it with me to the event, and I had been whittling on it. That's going to be one of my twisty twirly sticks when I finish with it. It's going to be one that I carry with me to events just to work on while I'm nervous. As long as I don't cut myself in the process. But then, let's see. Just throw it down, he says. Just throw it down. I'll bring it over here to the camera so we can see. This is, come on, there we go. The crepe myrtle little chunks that I'm gonna spin on too. All right. So, with all that being said, I hope everybody's having an awesome morning. Let's see. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to change that. Let's see. We'll look at it that way. This is not working right. That's awesome. Oh, mini lathe. Now, Miss June, let me grab mine. Let me see if this is let's see. When you say a mini lathe, do you mean something the size of mine right here, or do you mean something like this? This is a little mini bead lathe right here. It's old, but I got this off of Amazon. It's about like a Temu special almost. Got a massive delay in my chat. Yeah, one like I'm holding. Okay, cool, cool. These will work. They're fun. Like I said, you got to loosen that little. Let's see. This is my tool rest. You know, you don't have a big old massive tool rest like this right here. This is your tool rest on this little piece. You got to loosen that screw, kind of slide it back and forth, and then slide it in and out, and then tighten that screw back down to adjust your rest. And then this would be your tailstock. If it's made like this, you have to loosen these little butterflies on the back, and then that adjusts your tailstock. You push your piece in, get it tight. Now you got to kind of manipulate it and hold it, you know, hold it good and tight, and then tighten them pieces. Now this tailstock, let's see. You don't never see the end of my tailstock when I'm doing my work, but let me turn just a little bit with the camera. Okay, right here, this is how I adjust this one. I loosen this little knob right here, and then I turn this to tighten this piece right here, and it pushes it in or out. And then once I get it out as far as I want, I tighten that back down. That's what, when y'all see me reach over and mess with this, that's what I'm doing. I'm loosening it, and then I'm cracking down on that to tighten the pressure, and then I'll tighten back up to hold it. But that little mini lathe is awesome. I've made daggone I've made roach clips like this on that little mini lathe. That's what I started with lathe wise. I would sit on my front porch with this daggum thing in my lap, because you see, let me see, try to get y'all back in here. Oh heck, let me turn this. There we go. Now I got y'all back in here. I would sit, because see, that's the perfect size. I mean, it'll hold them. And with that, that's kind of like your worm screw on your chuck for your lathe. You know, you take your piece, get you a little bitty hole, a little bit smaller than what that is, drill in your ends and your center. You want to try to mark center on your pieces every time to help you, but you drill your little hole, then you take and screw that piece onto your little screw. You thread that piece onto your screw to hold it, and then you pop your little tailstock pin right there into the end, and then you just get with it. Little bites, that's all I can say. When you get the tool, is take little bites. You gotta be patient on a lathe. You'll see me get in here and get heavy-handed and go to wow, 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 chipping away at it, but that little bitty one for your lap, you can't. You got to be patient with that one, and it'll work. It'll do little projects for you. Like I said, I squirreled out, but I got that little lathe, and I made several roach clips, took them to my dispensary, you know, as I went to get my meds, and sold them, and I stacked up that cash, and I bought this one. I bought a little bit bigger one here. So yeah, I mean, I will not make fun of nobody wanting a little bitty lathe, because them little bitty lap lathe got me my little midi lathe right here. So heck yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to see what you do with it. Oh goodness, y'all. I am whooped. I know people hear me talk about it all the time. Probably tired of listening to me complain about it. But woo, this event, it kind of whooped me. I was kind of nervous that I didn't have enough material to carry with me to sell. And so it's like I was spinning like crazy, and then doing them lives, doing all the spinning. And like I say, normally when I spin a clip, I don't do the whole daggum thing at one time. You know, if it's not live, I'll do a little bit here, a little bit there, sit down, get up and down and rest. But going through these lives, I've been standing up and just getting with it. And it's helping me a little bit. It's like I've been telling folks, it's like a physical therapy. I'm getting a little bit more muscle spasms throughout the day in my lower back. I call it my gremlins, but I'm getting a little bit more looser. You know, I can stand up at the lathe a little bit longer than what I have been able to do. And so I think that's awesome in itself. Whooping me. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I guess a lot of it was stress too, because it was overwhelming as heck. I put on a good face. You know, I committed to the grand opening too. I'll be doing the grand opening event with them as well. That'll be on the 22nd. But I got enough supply. I got enough stock. I can still make stuff, but I don't have to stress out and worry that I don't have enough stuff. I'll be okay for a few events. Well, that's what it is I gotta find a rhythm. I like doing these early morning lives, but it's like I think if I keep doing them every day, that's gonna whoop me. So I might tone it down to every other day, or pick myself maybe 3 days a week or something like that. I love doing the lives because I'm getting some views and I'm picking up some subscribers and stuff. So it's like I want to take that momentum and go with it. But yeah, I'm babbling a little bit, trying to wake up, y'all. Got everything set up. Get me a couple of sips of coffee. Got me a couple of puffs of coffee. My morning medication time. I am a wake and baker, as they would call it, but it's like I don't get baked. Wake and medicate. Goodness gracious. And that's what I don't like doing. I don't like coughing from it because then that just makes my back hurt more. Alright, y'all. I'm going to get me a sip of coffee. I'm going to put my dust mask on and I'm going to knock this piece around and see how crazy it gets. This is that cedar, so you're going to see little splinters and pieces flying everywhere. It is real dry, and I got some corners to beat down, so it's probably going to get a little aggressive. I was watching a group the other day. He was talking about how the lathe is just violent and aggressive, and you're not meant to turn pieces of wood this fast and all that, and it's just chaos. But the way he explained it made perfect sense, and I really enjoyed hearing it that way. But yeah, this is like chaos because you're taking something small and you're spinning the heck out of it and beating the heck out of it, but you make something beautiful in the end. All right, y'all. Babble, babble, babble. We got some coffee. Ooh, I got my Southern pecan coffee too. Oh, that stuff is killer. It's them, goodness, them fundraisers, the school fundraisers, I guess you'd call it. And my grandkids come around with their little goodie bag or their little sale paper and stuff, and it's like, yep. Every time they bring one of them around, I get the Drowsy Poet Coffee Company, and it's Southern pecan, and it's ground up for the Keurig, and yep, that's perfect for me. I love it. All right, babble, babble. Here we go, y'all. Let's see just how crazy that piece. Ooh, yup, my lathe. I've got to adjust with them brushes. If I ain't careful, I'll be using my little bitty mini lathe again for a little bit. Alright, here we go. I got my dust mask on, as y'all can tell. I'm a bit muffled, but got to breathe. Awesome. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Please hit that like button, double tap that screen, give Grumpy some love. I greatly appreciate it. All right, here we go. Ooh, and if y'all didn't notice before I started, this is a piece of that two-tone cedar. We got some of the heartwood and some of the sapwood coming out here on the edge. So there's a good shot of it right there. So, all right, let's go. Hey, good morning, Josh. bad, looking good. Gonna have some cool colors. Alright, y'all hit that like button, double tap that screen. I greatly appreciate it. There we go. Hey, good morning, David. Thank you for coming by. No pool wrestlers living dangerous. Don't do it, don't do it. Ooh, I got a cedar everywhere. It smells good, girl. Let's see. Gotta keep that running for a minute. That'll pull some of that dust. Bring that down there, turn that off just a second. Ooh, I can talk. Y'all probably don't want to hear me talk. Y'all probably want to see me turn, but I gotta babble. That's part of it. Smells like Christmas all the time. So let's run that down a minute. Let me just turn that off for a minute. I really need to take this thing and clean my brushes, y'all, but I get so nervous when I have to mess with that motor. I got a new set of brushes to put in it, but I think if I open it up, blow it out, and close it back up, I'll be alright for a little while. Alright, what we are doing this morning, where did they go? Now, I don't know how well this is gonna go, because it's been almost a year since I've done it, but we're gonna try. Last year, around Christmas time, I started playing with doing, the Christmas stuff. Like everybody else that creates, I got a little bug in my butt. Oh, I want to make stuff. I'll sell it at Christmas. Well, I didn't sell a daggum thing because I didn't go out and try to promote it or didn't try to market anything, but I did try to make stuff. That's my little tree. That's pretty cool. I did that out of pecan. I got a marble, a little clear glass marble that epoxies at the top of it, and it's like the perfect size. It worked out awesome. But anyway, that's one of my Christmas deals, but that's not what we're doing this morning. Here we go. That's my little addition, or that's my version of a snowman. Little 2-segment, and boop boop, his head and his body, and then his hat. And that's pecan, and there's a lot of wormholes in there. It was a big branch that fell out of my tree that I guess some bugs got a hold of. And then I got hey, good morning, Michael. Thank you for coming through. And then I got a little three bloop 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 and a hat. And they're not perfect. Like I said, I just started tinkering with them last year, making them, but I did probably almost a dozen of these things between pecan and oak. And so this morning I'm going to try to see if I can't get my proportions right for the size and get it turned down, but I got to get it flat, or not flat. I got to get the flat spots out. I got to get it round first. But yeah, I'll sit there and kind of scale it out. I'll do like maybe right there, and then like maybe right there for the top of the hat. So that'd be the bottom, the second, and then make like maybe that the bridge of the hat, and then the top part of the hat. Something like that. I'll draw it out once I get it round, and then we'll see what we can do. That's the game plan. But when I try to make a game plan of something, it never turns out the way I want it to. So we'll have to see how it goes. Oh yeah, I could cut me another little tree out of this piece for sure once I got it knocked down around. It's just with this cedar, it's real dry. And it likes to get little pull-outs and blowouts, so I have to, once I get it around and start working my shape, I can't be as aggressive. But it'll make a tree. I know I could do a tree. Step it, step it up, step it down, however I'm trying to say it. But I got that crepe myrtle. That turns real good so far. I like the way that turns. That'll give me a nice sharp edge for the trees. And then the pecan, that works out good and gives me a nice sharp edge. And I got a couple of good pieces of that out in my shed that's been drying for a while. That's the main thing, is I don't never mess with the greenwood, because it just bad enough when you power carve a piece of wood and you got a nice carving. It's like, that's looking awesome, and then you come back the next day and it's done split in 3 places. You're like, oh goodness. But it's the same thing with turning on the lathe. You know, if I spin greenwood and I don't seal it just right and fast enough, it will split and go to crepe. It'll split and get ugly on you. And I'm not used to it yet. Most of the time when I seal stuff, I would spray it and seal it, and I'm learning. You know, like I said, I want to create my little shine juice and all that stuff and get it going too. But all right, another little bit of coffee. Oh goodness. No, we don't need no alarms this morning. Oh goodness. Gotta remember, I'll have my daggone my OBS set up here shortly, y'all. I finally got replaced the busted up cell phone that I had to beat and bang on to turn on. I got it replaced yesterday, and I have the old phone. I'm using my oldest phone right now to record, and then I would use my phone that I still had service on to view chat and everything. You know, I want to use them all to record with so I can have 2 different views, but now I can. I'll have this view and I'll have in my box, and I'll be able to run it through my computer off of OBS and everything, so it won't be long. I'll be able to tune my music in and have the different shots and stuff like that. I can't wait. But with that being said, that's why I had several alarms going off at one time, because all the phones are still set up with the same alarms. Yeah, you didn't see it? I thought I saw it. Hold on, where'd it go? There we go. That's the first one I did. This one, well, I say that's the first one. I got that one. I got this one. This one just don't. This was just, I was practicing with that to see what it would come out as. It's like almost an off-center turn. And that was a crazy piece there. But yeah, that one is more right. Looks like a tree. And I got one more, but I get comments on that one, so I don't show it off too much. This was a piece that I did out of pine, and was trying to do a tree, and but yeah, that was the first part of a tree. I did this one in 2022, but that was supposed to be a tree, and then it's like, well, I want to get it looser, and then that's when we started coming out with that right there. Hey, good morning, Runic. Drag out that cup of coffee and get with it. Grumpy's got the jumbo cup. That's my cup of coffee. That way I don't have to, first few lives I had my little cup and I run out of coffee while I was doing my live, and I was like, oh no, I got to have my go juice. So now I got my monster cup. But yeah, now with the 2 phones that aren't hooked to anything, then I'll be able to talk to Perry, because Perry had offered to help me set it up, just to get through the basics of it. And it's like, heck yeah. But then I was wanting to use the phone that I had service on plus this phone, so it's like I couldn't talk on that phone plus be setting stuff up. So now I have the 2 dedicated cameras and then a working phone on top of that, so I'll be able to go with it. And then I'm not going to work on it this morning, but I am going to do it. This is one of those blanks that Miss Francis had sent me. And this is different than the epoxy that I turn, because it is hard as heck turning it with the tool right here, hitting it. But when I go to put my centers in the end, they just whoop, they sink into the end of it with like no problem. So it's like every time I tighten it up, if I get too aggressive, it loosens up here and I have to keep tightening it, and I don't want to split this. So I'll have to turn this one afternoon when I ain't got the camera on me and I don't feel rushed. But yeah, I'm gonna get that one turned for her and send that back to her. I got a couple of pieces I got worked up for her. She said in one of her lives the other day that her little spoons that she dips her pigments and everything with, she could use some more of those. And what I have, I don't think is gonna be large enough for what she wants. I don't think my spoons are big enough, but they will hold a little bit of powder. You just, the scooper she's used to using, she could probably get one scoop, and you're probably going to have to do maybe 3 scoops with this little guy to equal that one scoop. But this was a piece of wood that she sent me in that box, and so I turned that for her. And then this one, I tried to make another one to kind of get kind of close to it, and then this one was out of the cedar, and I got that for her. And then I'm gonna do this one, and I'm gonna bring it down on both ends, and I'm not sure if I'm just gonna round off the end or if I'm gonna put a spoon on both ends for her. I'll probably just put one on one, that way she can put it up. But that's the plan of those. Alright, y'all, I've babbled enough. I'm gonna throw my mask back on and get with it. I hope y'all are having a good morning, and make sure I haven't missed nobody. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. All right, I'm fixing to get back at it. Get it round first. All right, Caleb, have a good morning, man. Thank you for coming by. getting close. A little bit right there. Right there. That looks like it was round, but it's right on the edge of the grain. So it looks like it tore off right there. So I got to take that on down too. But yeah, the bottom, well, yeah, this piece right there. Yeah, we got to take it down a little bit more. Still going to have some two-tone in there for sure, though. All right, here we go. Hey, good morning, Matthew. Where about did you start? I think I can start shaping it and that'll come out as I go. I think I can start shaping it and get that little bit out as I go. There's a little bit right there. A little splinter worth. That little spot, that'll come out as we go. And then I'm not coming quite that high, but we'll end up losing that if I do. It won't be no big deal. All right. Woo. My nose is starting to open up. I can smell the cedar now, and it's starting to burn. And that's with the dust mask. Cedar will get to me quick. And the way I do my work, and then this wood's so dry, that's just with the tool, and it's almost like I'm sanding. It's like I almost scrape versus cut. But that's just the way I turn. I know a lot of traditional turners probably cringe and go crazy watching me turn, but hey, I'm self-taught and I haven't really worked with the traditional tools much, so I'm just now learning how to ride the bevel with these things, you know. So hey, Grumpy be doing something good here in a few years, y'all watch. Oh goodness, I hope everybody's having an awesome morning. As y'all can tell, I'm starting to wake up a little bit. As this is my cup of coffee here too, y'all. I wake up at like 4:50, 4:45, come out here, make my coffee real quick, come out here, and I try to get set up the night before with the piece I'm going to start with, but I was out here cutting all that crepe myrtle up, cutting that other stuff up, and so yeah. This is my wake and bake coffee time. And now I decided to bring y'all along that crazy journey, and thank you so much for coming. What's that? We're gonna pass a peace pipe. There you go. Let me see. You talking about that? I got to show y'all a little bit more. Y'all know Grumpy's LaidBak Carvings. Okay, y'all know where Grumpy come from. That's the old grouchy butt y'all hear. And I don't sound as grouchy as I used to, but trust me, y'all, I can still have my days. I'm just doing my best to be a better person than I was the day before. So I'm trying to, let's see, I call it my Ray Ray and my JoJo. I'm trying to bury my Ray Ray. So it's like, you know, as long as I can be better than the day before, I feel I'm doing good. But I don't have the image on paper yet, and this is probably not going to come through on camera too good. We'll see. But no, I gotta get it off. I don't know if y'all can see that. That's a dragon. Woo. And he's laid back. And check it out, Bones. He's got his peace pipe hanging in his mouth. And then let me get over here. I think that's the arm. Barely see it, but he's got a stash bag hanging from the arm that he's not holding the pipe with, and holding the pipe, and then he got his smoke and all that right up there. That is where LaidBak come from. That is my LaidBak dragon. I got that snot back when I was 21. And so yeah, that's I got a little bit of Indian in me, so it's like the dragon with the peace pipe. That was like awesome. And you look at me, you wouldn't think I got any type of Indian in me because I'm just as pasty as can be. But so yeah, back when I was young, I was like, oh, that's cool, I want that, you know. And then we changed it up a little bit, and that's what I come out with. How many do I have? I have that one, and then a little, I don't know if I can get y'all in on a little Oriental like style dragon on the other arm. I got that one when I was 18. I wanted a bigger one, but that was one of them things. I was still a damn kid wanting a tattoo bad, and my mom paid for it, you know. And so it's like she didn't want me to have a tattoo, but she knew good and well I was going to get one. And I was 18, so she couldn't stop me. So she took me to a place that she had gotten a tattoo when she was younger, and the original tattoo artist was still tattooing, but she was born again Christian. She didn't even want to do the dragon. She put a little Star of David above the dragon, and that was the only way she would do it. And I said, hey, go for it. I want the dragon, you know, but I wanted it bigger. But my mom's like, no, you need it tiny because you don't even want a tattoo. And so it's a little bitty dragon. Just, it needs to be in a different spot. Because I'd put a big old grumpy right there if I had that shoulder open. But I want to get a grumpy on one of my arms, either arm, you know, below my elbow where people could actually see it when I'm out and about. But that day will come eventually. That's gonna be an expensive tattoo, because I want some decent. I want a decent size to it, you know. I don't want it to be tiny, and I want it to have some nice detail. So, but I can want, and that we'll have to see when that happens. But I am gonna get a picture of my my dragon with the pipe laid back. I want to get that out to where I can actually get it on a picture and then get it down on paper. I'm gonna incorporate that into my next set of stickers, I believe. I'm still gonna keep my same grumpy guy that's in my sticker now. That's just that's gonna be my brand mark, I guess. But I want to get that dragon in the background laid back like he is, with Grumpy right there, and then with him Grumpy carving stuff. So it'd be Grumpy's LaidBak Carvings, and then they'll be able to say, oh, okay. It'll all fit together then, I think. 12, I need them touched up though. I want them to be raised more. Okay, I know what you're talking about. When they go through and not scar it, but scar it. They get through there and pump it, and it puffs up and raised up off a little bit. What I want, have you seen those tattoos where they make them look like patches? I mean, it takes a good artist to do it, but it almost looks like a cross-stitch patch that's embroidered onto a jacket or something like that. And it's got all the hash marks and stuff like that, but they do it on your skin. And if it's a good tattoo and they did it clean, it almost looks like a daggum patch standing up until you look at it and see, oh damn, that's flat. You know, I would love to have a grumpy like that, but whew, I could imagine that'd be a couple of grand. And I got better things I can spend that kind of money on right now. So yeah, that's, like I said, my tattoos is just dreams. At last one day I found some tattoo artist that says, hey man, give me a couple roach clips, and say, hey, give me a tattoo. I could do that maybe, but you know, other than that, I don't think I'll be able to afford one no time soon. Alright, y'all. Babble. A little bit of that morning medication and some more coffee. Great trade-off for sure. that would be my kind of work, but I think I'd have to get the tattoo first. You give me the tattoo first, so I know you ain't fixing to jack me up, and then, well, you give me a nice tattoo, not. I'll go nuts making you an awesome clip. That's just it. That tattoo's awesome. I won't stop until that clip is just as awesome. Alright, y'all, here we go. Enough babble. Like I said, I'm going to try to get my snowman turned into this right here. I like the little two-body section ones. They just look a little more droopy, dopey, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just when I see those, I like them. They make me feel good. But that's what I'm going to go with. Of course, we're going to step it up in size. I'll try to round that off right there. Carry that to be like maybe the base. Come up like maybe there. And in the top section, of course, you don't want it to be as big as the bottom section. Come in there like that. That'll be like the head right here, the bottom of the body. Right here and right here to be the little hat brim. We got to make it a little bit bigger though for this piece, don't we? Got to make it proportionate. And then up here, and then we'll do a little taper, little swoop in the hat like we got right there. Make it look like an old top hat. All right, one of mine. Good morning. Hold on just a minute. I think I can. Let me try this here. Yes. Standard. All right, there you go. You got you a wrench. I've been logging in with my other YouTube account to watch my chat instead of logging in with my actual YouTube account on this other phone. So when I've been watching chat on my other phone, I haven't been able to play with the settings or nothing, but now I can without messing with the camera. See, I'm getting better at this, y'all. All right, here we go. I gotta put the mask back on. Cedar is starting to get me. Yes, sir. Does the wrench have a job? It does. You can go through and click on anybody's name now, those 3 dots, and it'll take you straight to their channel, and you can subscribe. You can check out their videos without leaving the live, and then you can drop your link to your channel in there being a moderator, and then if you see anybody in there being rude and disrespectful, you can time them out. Don't block nobody, don't make nobody invisible, but time them out all day long if they start getting crazy. You know, I would greatly appreciate that. But I like to do everybody blue like this, that way everybody can share their links and check out everybody's channel and connect with each other a lot easier. You know, it's when you're a moderator like that, like I said, you could just click them dots and go straight to their channel. But if you ain't got that wrench, then you got to copy and paste and go searching, and it just makes it harder to find people. So this way, maybe everybody will be more encouraged to check out each other's channels and support one another. But all right, y'all, enough babble. I'm going to turn this back on and get with it. Hey, good morning, Tim. I'm going to turn this on and get back at it. Tim, I'm off the roach clips for a morning or two, and I'm going to try to do me a bigger snowman out of this piece of cedar. This is a little piece of pecan that I did last year, but I'm going to step it up a little bit on the cedar this year. But, all right, here we go. Hit that like button, double tap that screen, give Grumpy some love. All right. That might be too big, I don't know. Let's get him right there and we can see what we're doing. I've tried turning anything once or twice to see how it works. Yeah, I love the different grains and the way the different woods and stuff look. It's crazy. I got this stuff here. It's some type of popular or something. It's one of those giant Jenga sets for kids. My grandkids had it for years, and I kept trying to steal a piece every day. I'd go by, Grumpy needs that to carve on, and they kept messing with me, and then they finally give it to me for Christmas. So I have like 25 or 30 blocks like this, and like I said, I bugged them for years to carve it. Shit, that's loud, I'm yelling. I bugged them for years to carve a piece, and then they finally given me the whole box for Christmas last year, and this is as far as I've gotten with it. I put it out here and put it in centers, and then turned it true right here to where I could grab it with my chuck and then turn it and stuff. And I've been using this piece as a mallet more than anything. But when I get with my snowman this year, that's what I'm going to use these for. It's just, this is like the cedar. It is real dry, so it's real dusty when I turn it. But, yep. I don't know what kind of wood it is, though.
Alright, here we go. Babble, babble.
Can you tell I'm procrastinating because I don't know how to attack this and it come out right?
Alright, here we go. Yeah, man. You just turn it on there and boop, make your mark and get with it. Braces, I need my braces.
Eye protection, and then plus my blind luck can see.
You gotta watch that edge on the tool right there.
And these lines are just reference lines. As I start turning and trying to work it together, I might shift back and forth, but they just give me an idea.
Going on everywhere. I gotta fix that, y'all. Man, I got that went deep. The daggum corner dug in. Alright, I gotta do that with the other stuff. Other stuff. Hey, good morning, Ramses.
Turn that off, produces. Good morning, Ramses. Thank you for coming by. I gotta watch your newest short that you got out. I saw it posted, but I ain't slowed down to watch it yet. I gotta catch up on a bunch of videos this weekend. Grumpy has been busy. Alright, this is what we're trying to do. This is not coming out right. I want that more bubbly. I don't want that as long as what it is, but I'm gonna leave it the way it is. It's not bad for the first one of the year, I guess. But I got to work on this part right here now. I think I have that proportioned out right, and then I'll do my swoops and drop it down, and we'll go from there. But snowman is what we're doing. Little two body segment snowman. But all right, I'm gonna get back at it. Give me a little coffee. Y'all hit that like button, double tap that screen, show Grumpy some love. I greatly appreciate everybody that showed up this morning. There we go, that's for y'all. Thank you. Here we go. Goodness gracious. I do got to sit down for just two or 3 seconds and get a little support off of or a little pressure off my back. As another thing too, Grumpy gonna start going doing some yard sailing on the weekends. I need to find me a bar stool. I need to find me a tall, high-backed bar stool. I would love to get me one of them like adjustable, like doctor stools that roll around, but I need one a little bit taller. I need one that'll bring my butt up a little bit. I want to get to where I can sit down at my lathe and work. So I think I need to drop my lathe station down about 4 inches, the table height altogether, and then have me something with a good high back support. That would be awesome. I'm just taking me a quick break, y'all. A little bit of medical, herbal, legal in my state. High society is what they call it, as an indica strand. That's just it. Dealing with the chronic pain. With my anxiety, I don't do sativas too well. They get me a little anxious and they add to it sometimes. Good hybrids aren't that bad on me. And then indicas with my chronic pain and stuff, that's my go-to. If they say couch lock, I say lock me to the couch, because I'm no lightweight. I've been doing this for many, many years. But one of these days I'll find a strand that locks me to the couch. But until then, they help Grumpy not be so grumpy. Alright, I need a lathe. Chainsaws don't have seats, right? See, I can't, with my back and neck, I can't deal with a chainsaw. Oh my goodness, if I could, my crazy butt would have probably done cut my leg off or something out there, because I'd try. But, in the couch. I wish. That's what I'm saying though. When I go into the dispensaries and I hear them tenders tell these people, oh, you got to be careful with this one. If you got something to do today, don't do this one. I laugh. And I say, what strand is that? I said, I need some of that in my life. And then they tell me what it is. I'm like, oh, heck, I got a vape cartridge in that, plus the flour and all that. Yeah, it's a good one, but it ain't locking Grumpy to the couch. You know, that's Grumpy, unfortunately. I wish I could get that stereotypical California surfer, oh man, just blitz to the brain and back, but it don't it don't hit Grumpy like that. Every now and then I'll get that strand that's still good and hits hard and gives me the giggles or something like that. But no, it helps me. Like I said, it helps my anxiety, helps my depression, and keeps me going. So edibles, man, that my gut don't digest them as good. I'm lacking the enzyme, or my liver ain't working like it's supposed to or something. But for edibles to really do anything for me, I have to like if it's a gummy, I'll sit there and just suck on the damn thing in my mouth until it's gone. Because when I do it that way, I'm getting it more sublingual, more through the capillaries and stuff in my mouth. But when it runs through my digestive system, my system don't digest it good. Trust me, I wish. We have them, our cookies and candy bars and gummies and stuff down here. With the laws that we have down here, they cap them at a 10% on the or 10 milligram. I can't remember how it is. You're not getting no crazy numbers like some of the crazier dispensaries, but you're getting a strong candy or whatnot. And some people, they'll eat like a Hershey chocolate bar. You break it and you got the little segmented pieces. Well, one of them little segmented pieces is supposed to be a good afternoon. I can have half that candy bar and you can't even tell I had anything. I eat the whole daggum candy bar. You can't tell I've done anything. But then like I said, the sublingual, like if it's a hard candy or something like that, it still don't hit me as hard, but I get an effect off of it that way. That's like the RSO syringes, the Rick Simpson stuff. They say just a little bitty piece of that, like a grain of rice, will knock you out for the day. No, sir. I got some of that from the dispensary after the event the other day, and come home and took my shower, relaxed, had my evening medication, and I took me 2 pieces of that stuff like a rice size, nothing. I said, it just doesn't work for Grumpy. I said, I think it's just, I don't process oil and grease. My body just does not do it. I'll get sick if I have too much greasy food and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's half the problem, because the good stuff in that bonds to fats and oils, and that's how you process it. And then, like I said, I don't process the fats and oils, so that's probably why I don't get a good effect that way. But it is what it is. The flour does me good. Sucks for my COPD, but so does the wood carving and all the dust. That's why Grumpy has to wear a mask. But it is what it is. I got a desktop vaporizer, and that's a lot better for me health-wise. But not gonna lie, I only use it about 20% of the time. It's just easier to roll one up and get at it that way. Man, dude, it don't matter. It don't matter what brand it is. I make my own, and watch people just freaking fall the heck out, and then it don't do a daggum thing for me. That's what sucks. When I say hard candies, I take the little distillate tubes that you can get. You can get them live, rosin, resin, all kind of stuff. But I'll take just the straight snow cone stuff, they call it. It's just the crap with the flavor added to it. I'll make a hard candy with that. And sugar crack candy, where you just take sugar and corn syrup, boil it down, bring it up to like 300 degrees, and then pour it out real thin, and then you just crack it all up, and you got the hard candies with the flavorings in there. I'll make that. I'll put my flavor for the candy, and then I'll take and put a gram of the distillate in there and whip that up as an edible for myself, and then make it out in a little bitty pieces. I got a little mold that I pour it into, so it's all pretty much the same dose for each piece. And when I do that, the best results I get is when I'm doing that and actually cleaning up my mess, because I'm eating so much of the candy off the spatula and stuff like that as I'm cleaning up. Boy, I'm feeling right that night, but then after that, it don't quite hit me as hard. But that's the stuff that I got to, I know I can't just chew it up. I suck on that and soak it in through my mouth. That's the best way it hits me. But alright, Grumpy's been babbling. I'm sure y'all tired of hearing that. But that's what we do. And I said I made my butter, done it all. And it just, I get the body effect off of it. I guess I'm still looking for more of that euphoria feeling off of it, but I do get the anti-inflammatory and the good body high off of it. That's the thing about the edibles. It doesn't really, it hits your head, but it's going to hit your body more. So that chronic pain and all that, the edibles do work more. That's why I wish my gut would process it better, because it would definitely help me out a whole lot better. But alright, babble, we're gonna get with it. It's not gonna look bad. I'm gonna bust him off right there and boom, boom. Thin that down. I have to get this to proportion and all that. And y'all get to see my crazy brain at work. So here we go. Thank you for tuning in. Please hit that like button, double tap that screen, all that good stuff. I greatly appreciate it so much. I want to go to Egypt so daggum bad. If I hit the lottery, my wife don't want to go. But I'm telling you, with my social anxiety and all, I want to touch one of those pyramids. I want to touch some of those stones. I love the pyramids and stuff over there. So Ramses, I love your videos. They are awesome. I am in like awe by the pyramids. If I could get in a time machine and go any time in the future, that right there, I want to see the creation of those monuments. I want to see what made that, because I don't believe people did that. But all right, off my soapbox.
No, sir.
No, sir, they won't run Grumpy off. Grumpy knows how to act. I can be grumpy, but I also know how to hold myself in public. I will be so respectful. I just want to touch the daggum stone. You know, every day, oh, please. I would love to go sit out there on a rock and smoke a big fatty and just daydream and stare at the pyramids. That would be awesome. That's just it. I think everybody has the misunderstanding about almost every culture we hear about. Let me bounce back off of here real quick. I saw part of that comment. I didn't see it all. But that's a thing. I was talking about that the other day. If it wasn't for YouTube, there's so many people out here that would never talk to one another. You know, because it's like, oh, them people are crazy. Oh, no, they don't like me. Or, oh, this. Or, oh, I'm scared of this. Or, I'm scared of that. But with YouTube, we don't see who each other is. We just see words. So we start opening up and talking. And if everybody could get like that out in the real world, oh, my goodness, this place would be so much better. But, that's the thing. I've even said the same thing with my anxieties and whatnot. I read the room, so I misjudge people because it's like I look at somebody and they just might look burly and aggressive. Like me, I look like a grumpy old fool sometimes, you know, but I'm not that bad when you get to know me. And everybody's like that, you know, so it's like I'd be a nervous wreck. I'm not gonna lie. Leaving the States, going to somewhere abroad like that, I'd be scared to death, but it would be such a freaking experience. And from the people I've met online and through the communities, I know not everybody is like this, but there's so many awesome people through these communities. That's what pumps me up even more. It's like, yeah, heck yeah, if Grumpy had the money, I'd dang sure be on a plane and I would do it. I'd do it. But all right, off my soapbox. That's what I like about YouTube. It just brings everybody together from every daggone where. You know, and then when you see people jump in the chat and they're typing in a foreign language and you can't read it, don't get crazy and say, oh, English only. Hit that translate button in your Google. See what they're saying. Some people are actually being nice and complimenting your work and whatnot. They're doing it in their language like we do it in ours. You know, that's man, I love YouTube for that. And yep, everybody needs to love everybody. Be happy. Off my soapbox. Y'all have a good one. Here we go. Hit that like, double tap that screen. I greatly appreciate it. The snowman is coming to me slowly but surely. I say I don't worry about the algorithm, but heck, I do. I want my channel to grow, so I know that's part of the algorithm mess, but at the same time, I'm just trying to be myself. If somebody wants to follow me on YouTube and like my videos, that's the people I want, you know, so that's heck yeah, but the algorithm helps. How's Wowie say it? Gotta give that algorithm hamster its pellet.
think we got one that's gonna dig into the hat. Yes, sir. Do yourself. Woo. We gotta make that better bit smaller. That's what I'm trying to do now. Uh-oh. There we go.
Alright. Now this is where... Right. Uh-oh. Sirens. I hate hearing that. We live real close to a fire station, so we hear sirens like crazy all the time. And hearing them this early in the morning, that's no good for nobody. Alright. I don't like this one right off the bat, y'all. The whole bottom, I'm not happy with either part of those. I want this. It needs to bubble out a little more. I need to, for the size that I'm trying to go for. I could take it all down smaller, but I don't want it to be little bitty. So I'm gonna stick with what I got. But it's coming out. But this part here, that's way too tall. So I was starting to part it off and was gonna leave it right there, but that's too much hat. That hat's almost as big as the whole snowman. So I'm trying to proportion it and bring it down. And then I kept marking it and looking, and I like this last mark, but then I look at that last one, and that last one might be too high. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all that material to my last mark right there, and glance at that, and then go from there. No, this right here, if you're talking to me, one of the mine on the paint color, no, I'm gonna leave this natural. I love natural grains and stuff. Yeah. Everybody gets on to me and tells me I need to paint them and stuff, and half the time I don't even like putting the eyes and stuff on there because then that burns into the grains. But that's like the ones I did last year. Maybe out of the dozen I did, I might have would burn the eyes and the little buttons on maybe 3 or 4 of them, but I left the rest of them just natural like that. I loved appreciating the grain. I love to be able to appreciate the grain and the beauty of the natural wood. There you go. That was a mouthful, but that's what I like. And in this being the cedar, I will go over it with that Yorkshire polish stuff that I have, and so that will darken it up a little bit and make all these grains pop out a little more. But that'll be as much color that you see. But you'll see in a minute, if I quit baffling and get it done, it's gonna look awesome. But yeah, I'm going to go back and I'm going to bring this down. I was getting ready to part right there, so I'm going to bring it on down to my line right there and make that the top of my hat. That looks more to the right size. And then I'll sand it all up and we'll see how it looks, because I got to get that. My carbides, I need to sharpen them so they're not going to cut as clean. So that's kind of grainy right there. So I'll get all that nice with some sandpaper. But babble. Thank you for watching, y'all. Hit that like, double tap that screen, and here we go.
Thank you. Alright, now I gotta get a little bit of 120.
That's gonna get that rough grain knocked down, and then I'll start working through the rest of the grit. I gotta sit down and sharpen my carbides. I got a brand new pack of carbides, but it's like I don't like opening it once I have something new. And I'll sharpen my other ones down, and then when I get to where I can't sharpen the pair I'm using, before I open the ones I got, I'll order a replacement pack, and then I'll open those. Son of Grumpy's crazy.
That edge got my finger. I did it again, dummy. Do it again. Get down to it. Come on. I cut it deep right there. Hey, good morning, Natalie. Alright, here we go. Oop, there we go. I go like that there. How did you? Good morning. Thank you for coming back.
heck yeah, happy early birthday.
Oh, 240. Come on. $300 or $320. Hey, good morning, old fast. What you talking about?
That's Molly. I'm gonna bring you a chop saw and trade you for it one day. No, I'm kidding. I can't wait to see you set up and turning some stuff. It's gonna be fun.
Woo. It's on you. Roll that back. Trying to keep my paper a little more organized out here. Oh goodness. I about jumped the gun. Hold on, y'all. This is just some 1,000. I probably don't need to go this fine, but I'm gonna do it anyway. 1200. And a little bit of 1500, and then we'll put the polish in there. Now see that shine coming through it from just the sandpaper.
It's not dropping everything. Alright, mask is off. The beard is getting longer and thicker, and so it's like a mess when I take the mask off. Yeah, that's why. Let's see. My hair on my face, if y'all know, I guess I'm going to show some of my age here, because hell, I'm probably a bit young to really know who this character is, but old Grizzly Adams, the old original outdoorsman, yeah, that's about how my beard looks when it starts growing out. It gets all wild and it don't want to lay straight. It's not kinky curly, but it don't lay straight. And one side of my face, it's somewhat straight. Other side is real wavy and stuff. It's a mess. But yeah, so. And then when you first wake up, it's everywhere like bedhead anyway. And then I sleep with a sleep apnea mask, so that kind of holds it down and puts it all out of whack. So yeah. The face mask for the carbon, it does the same. Alright, see how that darkened up? Y'all, I love that. I'll put a little bit more on there. This is where I need my little shine juice mixture. I'm gonna get there, y'all. Few more things. I got to get some stuff done and get some money transferred over, and then I'll be ordering my little microphone. And after I order that, it's going to be a set of bushings and my shine juice stuff. Hey, Bear. Hold on a minute. Good morning, sir. There you go. How are you doing today? Thank you for coming by. Thank you. This is, let me see. Where's my model? I done knocked it down somewhere. It's down here somewhere. Anyway. I did this last year. Here we go. That's out of pecan. Got some wormholes in it, but I like the little two-body segments better. But I did a three-body one. I did a bunch of them last year. This is the first one for this year. I want it to be a little different in shape, but I guess I'm gonna be happy with this one for now. It's not bad for the first one, I guess. And once I get going, I'll try to start batching a bunch of these out. I can take these to that event, and then I have some, let's see, let me move stuff around. Now don't do as I do, or don't lead by good example. Here we go. This is my trees. Alright, my rendition, whatever, how you say that, of a whimsical Christmas tree. It's more like a Dr. Seuss kind of style, I guess you'd say. But You see Jordy do the Christmas tree light, or the Christmas tree boards with lights in it. This is my boards. This is how I do mine. But I got three of these pretty much shaped up and outlined. I got to do a little bit deeper on there, and then I'm gonna come through and do all my texture and clean it all up. And then I'll do I'll drill my holes for the lights. They look pretty awesome, but I have some of those done, but they're not all multicolor. When I first started doing them, I couldn't get a hold of multicolor lights like that. All I could get was solid strands, and so I did that. But now I have a bunch of multicolored lights that'll fit the trees real good. Ooh, snot. I just slung a big old chunk of wax off. Turn that down. But I got some from a couple of years ago that I did that I can heat up with my heat gun and pull the lights out and then put multicolors in there. They'll sell better. But I got about 4 or 5 of those that I can carry to the event too. With it being close to Christmas, I'm hoping somebody will buy them. As they ain't doing nothing but sitting in a cabinet in my garage right now, so that ain't doing nobody no good. Alright, y'all, let me get my clean cloth and take all that rest of that polish off of there, and that one will be done. I'm going to sand the bottom, and I'll part and cut the top off and sand the top down and polish it up good, but I'm going to put a little eye hook in the top to hook my rope to where you can either, you can either hang it up for a Christmas ornament, or you can sit it on a shelf or something, because I'll have the bottom true flat to where it won't wobble. And so it'll stand up or hang however you want it. Because that's almost too big for an ornament. That's almost good for like little work spot, somebody's desk at work or something. Oh, okay. I saw Bear's comment without the wrench. I said, I thought I gave you a wrench, but then I saw new ones with the wrench. Alright. This is gonna look good, y'all. Here we go. Oh, look at that. See, I love the way the grains pop. And then, let me take some pressure off of there. There we go. Nice. Now I can see some fine scratches in there, and that's probably going to be from the Yorkshire, because the Yorkshire's got that micro abrasive grit in there, and I don't need that on the wood at this last point. That's why I need a different type of polish or whatnot to put on my wood, a different wax or something. But the Yorkshire is all I have right now, unless I try to seal it with like CA glue or something and sand that down, but I don't want to do that. I like doing it like this. Look at there. That's almost like a spalting in that grain right through there. I've never seen cedar do that before. That's cool, y'all. I love the grain of that and the color. That's just awesome. That would have made a cool clip though. But with it being a clip, it would have been a lot skinnier, and I wouldn't have I would have lost all that. That's cool. Alright, let me take that one off. But yeah, I'll cut it on my bandsaw. Whoop. I'll cut it on my bandsaw right there, and then I'll polish that off and flatten that out good. And then that little bit, I'll take my carving knife and shave that little nub off, and then sand it down smooth and polish that up. But that's the first snowman for 2025. Awesome. Awesome. So, now we got either another snowman on crepe myrtle, or try to spin a little quick clip on this. I think this is the cherry wood out of that batch of wood. But it's either a roach clip on that or another snowman on some crepe myrtle. What y'all want to see me do? I'll let y'all decide this morning if you're still out there. Let's see, I gotta look up here. Hey, we still got people watching. Also, I'm losing people because I'm not turning no more. That's how it goes. Don't nobody want to hear grumpy babble. Oh. Let's see, what do I want to do? Let's see. What do we got in here? Shape wise. I need my center marker. Oh, my pencil goes. You gotta use a mechanical pencil or something when you go to mark your center, so you can get right down that green or that edge real good. But I'll spin it like that. I'll spin it all the way around and match that line up with the straight edge. Oof, thin lead just broke it. And then I'll come sideways right here. Spin it all the way around back to that same line. What that'll do, if you're not quite true, it'll give you two little lines each way, and then you just try to line up in that dead center. And then this is a little center jig that I made up. I just took two boards. You got to have perfect 45-degree cuts on your boards. One board, you bring it just a little bit lower than the other board. That way you can put your little flat edge up against it. And I drilled me a little hole, and then this one does good. I drilled a hole in there and just filled it up with epoxy and have like an epoxy screw in that one. But because I didn't want that edge. But anyway, you get your perfect 45, you get them flush together, and I glued and clamped all that and then cut it all off nice and square with my chop saw or my miter saw. But then you lay your round in that, and you can even lay a square in there too, but you lay your round in there and hold it down, and then when you come back up here to the top, you scratch, spin it, scratch, and then you get your, let's see, that side's dirtier. You get your, whoop, there we go. You get that cross, and then you just pop you an awl or a little dot right there in that center, and that's your true center. But, dropping my other phone here. There we go. Turn the other way. I can't see you like that. There you go. All right. Hey, I think that's what I'm going to end up doing, is just trying to spin a little quick clip right here. I'm curious to see what this is going to look like. Like I said, I started whittling one at the event. Let's see. Let me get it. And then this is what I do. I'll take my little center I got here, my live, and I'll get it marked in, get it lined up. Oh, where'd my piece go? I buried it. Use a piece of cedar. But that's where I need me a mallet. Pop me a hole right there in the center as close as I can. It's not dead perfect, but it's closer than just eyeballing it sometimes. There we go. neighbor's dog just went outside. He telling everybody I'm here. Crazy guy. He gets out there and barks. See, and that's not too bad. I lined up on my marks and my little holes that I punched. And when I turn it, it's not perfect, but I can knock that down and I won't be losing too much. And then get it round and go from there. Now, I get me a better awl and some better lighting, and then I'll pop my little holes and get them more centered. Then yeah, there we go. That will work a lot better that way. But alright, I'm gonna throw my mask on and I'm gonna knock that down real quick. See what it looks like. Alright, hit that like button, double tap that screen, do all that good YouTube stuff. I appreciate it. Hope everybody's having an awesome morning. I'm just going to start out with the round to get it done quicker. See, that's about round now. A little bumpy right there. Had to turn that little heater off. It ain't that cold this morning, but it was chilly. Now I done got it to like 68 in here. Yeah, warm. Oh. Goodness. Curious to me. I got too many cords over here. Okay, that's gonna be draining. Alright, we can do that though.
hold on, y'all.
Hold on just a minute, y'all. The pups just woke up. My live's going a little bit longer than normal. I gotta let them outside. I'll be right back. Oh, we gotta let the fur babies outside. Come on, baby. Come outside. Go be good girl. Go be good boy. Come on, go. 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 Go be good girl. Go bye. Come on. Go be good girl. Go to the dukes. Come on. Come on, go be good girl. Come on. Pepper, come on. Pepper, come on. Go bye. Go be good girl. All right, I'm probably fixing to lose all the viewers, but it's gonna take me just a second. I got to go whoop up their breakfast bowls real fast. This is why I got my little routine from early till about 7:30, because on the dogs, they're like alarm clocks. They want out at about 7:15, 7:30, and then they want their breakfast. So take me just a minute. If y'all go, I don't blame you. Fully understand, but if y'all hang out, I greatly appreciate it. I'll be right back. waking me up. Okay. Alright, I'm coming. Look out. We're back. Hey, I still got some people in here. Hey, goodness gracious. I got a bunch of people in here. Awesome, y'all. Welcome. I'm making a roach clip right now. Trying to pull one out. Everything's in the box right now. Trying to pull one out done for anybody that's just tuning in that don't know what I'm doing. I believe this is cherry. I'm not sure. I got a mystery box. It's a bunch of different species. I got them jotted down, but I'm not sure what species is what. A few of them I'm kind of sure, but some of the other ones I just don't know. I haven't played with the exotic woods enough to really know what I'm looking at half the time. But this is a piece of pine that I turned into a roach clip. So that's what I'm doing. Bringing this down, I'm going to go back and attach my clip and clean up the bottom. But all right. Sorry I was in limbo. My dogs is on a tight routine. Like I said, they're like alarm clocks. Come 7:30, they want outside and they want their morning breakfast. So yeah, that's what I just had to do, was get their food going. And then my wife's awake, and she's normally not a morning person, but she's starting to become a morning person. Hey, Deland, thank you for coming through. Grumpy and doing animals jumping. All right, here we go, y'all. Get my dust mask back on and get the noise going, but here it comes. See, I'm trying. You see, I'm gonna bring all this down a lot more. That's got to get a lot skinnier, so I'll keep it proportionate. And then I'm gonna tone these down some more, and I'm gonna try to make that as round as I can, and then give it some swoop down here. Ooh, I got coffee. Thank you. Fresh cup. Got a fresh cup of coffee. Hey, good morning, Raja. Or I'm sorry, it's nighttime for you. Good evening. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yes, sir. Hey everybody, Raja's got a channel. He's in India. He does some awesome, he does a lot of handles all day long, and he's like, he can do that stuff blindfolded, but he does some awesome little small detailed work. You have to check out his shorts. But that man's a wood turning machine. I love watching him. Y'all go check him out. Have a good day, Miss June. Thank you for stopping by. I don't want it to splinter. Alright, we're gonna leave that there in a long time. Alright, jumping on it with some 120. This stuff's got a lot of pore. It's like porous, kind of like oak is what it reminds me of. So I'm gonna have to sand it down real good. If not, whenever I go to put that polish on there, it's gonna fill it up with wax. So we got to get this one sanded good. It's gonna look good though. I'll take it down real good with the 120 and then start jumping through the rest of the grit, and that should get it pretty well polished and sealed up, and then the wax and stuff will just give it a little bit of shine. Hey, good morning, big dog. Thank you for coming through. There you go. I gotta take that down a lot, but I figure with it being so porous, it's gonna come down when you're sanding it. I'm doing good this morning. Where'd it go? First one I did, let's see, this is the first snowman for this year. This is my little version of a snowman, I guess. Let's see, this is what I did last year, so I stepped it up a little bit bigger, and this is the first one. I did about a dozen of the little ones last year. We did the snowman first, and then I did this. But I'm not sure on the species of this here. I think it's cherry, but I could be wrong.
It's got some pretty grain in it, bro.
Y'all hit that like button for me, double tap that screen, show Grumpy some love. That's what I'm thinking from the color of it, but I'm not used to messing with the exotic woods. Cedar, that was about the most exotic, and that's really not exotic. We got a lot of that around here, but it's a pretty wood. Oak and pecan, that was my mowed into popular dowels. But then I got that piece of bocate from Mr. Johnny that I turned. Then Miss Francis has sent me a few cool pieces, and yeah, I enjoy it. I really enjoy turning it and checking out all the grains and all the different woods. So yeah, I know as a wood turner and with all the wood out there, whew, I got a long way to go before I even get near, I guess, educated in all the wood, because there's just so much out there. So this is an awesome start. And then, like I said, I got my mandrel set for pins. I just got to start stacking up some bushings and some actual kits to start building them. And then I can turn pins too. I can't wait to start doing that. I got to make some more blanks up, some more. Yeah, I got to get my blanks going too. Alright, I'm going to get on there with the tool again and bring that down a little bit more before I start doing the final sand, because that still needs to be a little skinnier. So I might have to taper that down with it.
That's getting closer. I mean, that's real close. That's about it right there. Yeah. Hey, good morning, West Country. Thank you for coming through. All right. That I can work with. A little bit more right there. Yes, that will work. More better. Now we'll go through the mix. I'm going to start with my 150. In case I couldn't hear me, 150. Awesome.
Gets, I don't remember the word for it, but kind of looks like that tiger eye stone. Gets kind of like, heck, I can't remember the word. They were saying it in a couple of lives the other day. Almost gets that holographic look to it. Alright, that was 150. Let's jump on down to 240. Go to the 320. It needs to be 300 and then 420. They need to have a 420 grit. Yeah, that'd be Grumpy's favorite grit. Go to the 400. $600. Yeah, that's all. Let's put this back over here out of the way. That was 150 through 600. Now I'm gonna go with a little bit of 1,000. Woo, that's hot. Alright, we're gonna go with some 1,200. I'm hoping I'm sanding up all the little pores and sealing them off good. That way when I put the wax on there, it don't get a bunch of spots filling in with wax. But if it does, I'll just take some alcohol and go back over it later and then seal it with something different. First time messing with it, so we'll see how it goes. I said I got to get my denatured alcohol and my shellac set up so I can do the shine juice. I think that would look good. But I can already tell that's gonna. I haven't. I'm getting excited and tongue-tied. I haven't seen the grain on there. It froze up, or I caught that catch earlier and I saw some of the grain. But I'm like y'all, I'm still in the blind on what it's gonna look like. But that little quick peek I got, it was looking good, so I'm excited. And then the color already coming out before I put any polish in there. Cause look at shiny, it's getting shiny. I'm sorry, y'all. Grumpy's babbling and getting excited. It's the little things, they say. It's smooth. Hey, thank you. Good morning. What is that? I don't even know how to pronounce that, but good morning and thank you for those kind words. Welcome. I hope you enjoy what I do. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go with it. Y'all know I love that Yorkshire. I'm fixing to put it on there and see what happens. Turn all that noise off now. Turn that down some. Alright. Got that dust mask off. I can talk and breathe, work, and take the time. Ooh. Can't see that. It's funny how glasses work. One pair of glasses I can see stuff, and another pair of glasses I can see stuff, but wearing my I can see glasses and then trying to find something by looking around, and it ain't happening. Everything's a blur. Alright, this is that Yorkshire micro fine grit polish. It's got the mineral wax, I'm saying it backwards again, mineral oil and beeswax. And man, it goes in there and really makes the grain pop and the colors pop. Oh, this is gonna look nice, y'all. And y'all see how dark that went? I love that. Turn it up a little bit and then polish that in. Or buffed it in, however you want to say it. That's another thing that I'm looking into trying to do is the getting a dedicated buffing wheel and everything. They have them for the lathe, but I don't want to. That's just more work on the lathe. I have a 6-inch grinder, little bench top grinder, and I can get some pads for that. And so that's what I'm going to do is order me some buffing pads for that thing, because I can't sharpen traditional tools the way my hands get and trying to hold stuff on the proper angle and grind. I end up grinding half my tool away before I got it sharp. But so I've never tried. That's why I use the carbide tips. But I can turn that grinder into a dedicated buffer, and not so much for the wood projects that I do, but the epoxy stuff I do. I get a nice polish and shine on the lathe, but man, I could step it up one more notch off of a buffer system like that. It'd be awesome. All right, y'all. Wiped off and rubbed in real good. I'm gonna do one more little application of it and rub that through. Make sure we get it good. And And again, I'll cut the bottom right there on my bandsaw, then I'll hand sand and polish it like I'm doing here on the top of it. I'll cut that off down here, put my clip on there. Alright, let me get a clean cloth. Oh, that's going to be nice. And y'all see, getting a little bit of, still even getting a little bit of wood off of there from the micro grit. But go through and rub all that off real good till it's clean, and then that choker will be done, or at least the lathe part of it. What I'll do is I have a couple that I gotta tie still, and I have a couple of spoons that I have to epoxy. So I'll cut this and get it all ready, get the bottom done, and then I'll save it for doing it in the box live. And I'll set it as a horizontal view and do a live where I'm tying a bunch and stuff like that. And it's about time for me to get ready to shut down here. Alright, y'all, I'm fixing to, still getting color off of it. Fixing to shut her down. Let's see how pretty this piece came out. One last high-speed run. I can't wait to see this, y'all. Oh, awesome. Look at that, y'all. Nice. And I sanded it good enough that it didn't fill in with the wax. Nice, y'all. That's awesome. I love that. Oh, come on, get off of there. There we go. Look at that. A little bit closer. That's beautiful. Y'all see all that pretty grain? I love that, y'all. And then that shine, that seal, and that's y'all seen it. There's no clear coat, no spray, no nothing. Y'all seen me rub all that wax and all that oil off of there, buffed it in a little bit. But dang, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for that box of goodies. I hope our mystery sender, I hope you're watching. I hope y'all know I greatly appreciate that box of goodies. And this is the first piece out of it, and there will be many more to come. That is for sure. That is so awesome. And then I'm gonna take, where did I put it? It's right here somewhere. I have another little nub piece about this big from the same wood. Oh, it's in the box somewhere under my mess of paper towels. I just had it. Here it is, right here. The top of it looked like that crepe myrtle from where my saw burned it. But I'm gonna spin that in there. It's gonna be small, but I'm gonna flute it right here on the bottom and flip it up. It's basically gonna look like this piece right here, and I'll taper the end a little bit skinnier, and I'll drill it out for a spoon, and then it'll be a matching spoon and clip set. But look at that, y'all. We went from that right there, and then that's what was hiding inside. That's what I love about turning the wood and sanding everything down, is you can, even with wood carving, power carving, the same way. You find a big old block of driftwood or something and it looks all gray and ugly and just, oh, that's an ugly piece of it. Man, you go to carving into it and getting into that pretty wood still, dude, no telling what you find. But that's what I like about it. We went from that to that. Awesome. And again, I'll cut it there, put my clip, cut it there, sand and polish it to where it'll be, somebody can stand it up if they want to or have it laid down. But that is so cool. So cool. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. That's a beautiful piece right there. I love that. And I did it good too with the sand, because I'm looking, that's what I keep rolling and looking for. I'm catching the light in that flash. And if you have a tear out or a spot, it'll tell on you and shine on you that way. And so far it's all clean. I didn't get too aggressive at the end, and then I sanded it better this time, I guess I could say. Because that is real porous like oak. So if you don't get a good sand when you go to seal it, you're going to tell. That's awesome, y'all. And here's our crazy snowman for this morning. I'm gonna lop that off, sand and polish that, put me a little hanging eye right there to where it can hang on a tree, and then I'll finish bottom and sand that flush flat to where it can stand on a disc. It might be a little top heavy to stand, and that's one thing I didn't get my proportions quite right. But first one for the year, I want the head to be more round. He's a little oblong. His body's a little oblong. Like I said, I have to get better at the geometry for it to get my circles and all just right. But that's not bad, neither. I'm getting there. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to Grumpy's Crazy Babble. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all had a great morning, and thank you so much for all the likes, all the comments, and everybody tuning in to my crazy. But y'all have an awesome morning and an awesome weekend, and I'll probably jump back live again sometime today. Might not do much tomorrow. This is the weekend that I got my grandkids, so they'll be spending the night tonight, so I won't be setting no early bird alarm for in the morning, because I don't want to wake nobody up that early. So I'll just be waking up when I wake up tomorrow. So there probably won't be no early morning live, but I'll definitely try to get live throughout the day or maybe in the evening. I don't want to step in nobody else's spot or nothing like that, because I like to support everybody else too. But all right, y'all. Have an awesome day. Thank you so much. Love all the support. And everybody stay laid back. Don't be grumpy. That's my job. And have an awesome day. Thank you. God bless everybody.